Are you sick of seeing the same allies over and over again? Well, this is the video for you, because today I am looking at the most underappreciated and underused ally in all of Warcry. Welcome to War Games on Toast, all of you lovely people. It's me. It's Toast. How are you all doing today? This video has been brewing in the back of my mind for quite some time, and I think it's finally ready to be unleashed upon the world. Allies in Warcry make up a huge part of the list building process, but unfortunately, you tend to see the same allies taken again and again. Basically, it's just the best meta picks, and meta and best are vague and nebulous at the best of times. Basically, what I'm trying to say is a lot of things just like slip under the radar and get forgotten about, and they really shouldn't, because they are legitimately fantastic and should see more play, and I am here to advocate for one such piece. But before we get into all that, it's time for a little bit of shilling.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Please consider leaving a like, a comment and subscribing, as that helps me fight against that dastardly YouTube algorithmic demon. And if you want to help in a more tangible way, then please consider signing up to my Patreon or my YouTube members, or using my Element Games affiliate link down below when buying some new Warcry gubbins. A huge shout out to my patrons and members who you can find on screen now. Badoosh. But with all of that out of the way, it's time to get on with the show.
And now for something completely different.
I think I've kept you all in the dark long enough. Today I am talking about
the Mindstealer Spheranx.
That's right, the Mindstealer Spheranx, one of my favourite models in all of Warcry, partially because it's a fantastic ally to take, partially because it's incredibly well priced for a Games Workshop model, and partially because the model looks fantastic on the tabletop. I am constantly shocked at how little this model is used. I've never played against the Mindstealer Spheranx in all of my time in Warcry. I've only ever seen it in real life, besides my own, once, and I'm the only person I know that actually runs it on the regular. And this is a travesty, because the Mindstealer Spheranx just does so much for its cost. It is such a good piece to take and can slot into so many lists and improve them drastically. What tends to happen is people take Vexmore or a Vanguard or both, and that's their slots filled up, and then you've got a pretty darn standard, pretty darn boring list that really doesn't inspire any kind of interest in me at all. But the Mindstealer Spheranx does everything I want to do and more, and is cheap enough that you can take other allies on top of that, even Vexmore if you want to be a little bit vanilla. But enough gushing, let's look at this bad boy stats. Badoosh. So the Mindstealer Spheranx is a Chaos ally and is not a hero, which is important to note in some lists. It is 260 points for movement 8, toughness 5 and 30 wounds, which is very fast and surprisingly durable, and its attack profile is a 4-5-2-5, which is a decent strength, a good number of attacks, and a pretty middling damage output. It's also important to note that the Mindstealer Spheranx comes on a fairly large oval base, which is a little bit awkward to move around, but it is not mounted, which makes it easier to move around, and because it's quite long, you can actually double cap objectives, which is a bit of utility that's getting phased out of Warcry, but still exists in certain packs. If you're running it bare at 260 points, the Mindstealer is completely fine. It does what you need it to do. It's just a little bit on the unreliable side in combat, and that's where blessings come in, and the Mindstealer Spheranx really benefits from being given +1 damage, which is 30 points on a model of this size. This brings the Mindstealer to a 4-5-3-5, movement 8, toughness 5, 30 wound murder machine. And just for the record, this profile at this cost is roughly what you'd expect to see from a Vanguard. Badoosh. Now, of course, the two aren't directly comparable because they have different ability sets, and the ability set in the Mindstealer is what really sells it on top of this really solid profile. I'll start first with its reaction called Spiteful Reprisal. A fighter can make this reaction after they are targeted by an attack action, but before the hit rolls are made. For each hit roll from that attack action that misses, reduce the value of one of the attacker's controlling players' doubles, triples, or quads to 1. This is an incredibly situational reaction, and it's one you will likely forget about, but this can do work in certain matchups where your opponent needs high value dice, and because it's not just one double, triple, or quad, it's for every single miss of that attack action. If they miss multiple attacks, you could reduce 1, 2, or even 3 abilities to ability value 1 and completely nuke their turn. The downside is that Spiteful Reprisal still costs you an action, and that's a hard sell because you're running a 260 to a 290 point model whose actions can likely be better spent elsewhere. Like all situational things, keep it in your back pocket, don't forget about it, and then pull it out when you need it the most to win a game. Moving on to their abilities, they have 3 abilities, and that's a double, a triple, and a quad, and all 3 are really good. We're going to start with their double called Telepathic Threatening. Pick an enemy fighter within a number of inches of this fighter equal to the value of this ability and roll a dice. On a 3+ until the end of the battle round, that fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. Telepathic Threatening is basically a net, but it has some upsides and some downsides. The downsides are it has a variable range, so if you have a lower double, your range is drastically reduced. The upsides are numerous though. Firstly, it has variable range, so if you have a high double, you are increasing the range of your net substantially, potentially doubling the range of your standard net. Secondly, it doesn't require line of sight, so you can blast people no matter where they are. And of course, nets are innately powerful. They add a lot of control to your gameplay, and they allow you to shut down other people's titans, because as good as the Mindstealer is, it can't really go toe-to-toe with other big Titan-like models. So just net it instead, and remember the Mindstealer is movement 8, so you can get around the board and really reach out and touch things with its Telepathic Threatening. Next we have its triple called Dominate Mind, and I really like Dominate Mind. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches of this fighter and roll a number of dice equal to the value of this ability. For each 2 to a 5, allocate 1 damage point to that fighter. For each roll of a 6, allocate 3 damage points to that fighter. I like this ability because it lets the Mindstealer reach out and touch things it can't otherwise get to. It's got a flat 6-inch range, and the damage is very reliable. Ideally, you are rolling 5 to 6 dice for this, although you can kind of push with 4 dice, and you're looking for those 6s to land at 3 points of damage. But honestly, doing chip damage on a 2+ is also completely fine. If you use this on a 666 and you don't roll any 6s, it's still kind of fine because you're rolling so many dice and you're hitting so reliably. You're going to do a lot of chip anyway, probably close to 5 damage when you do that, which is a respectable amount of damage for a triple. Start rolling those 6s though, and that damage really starts to pile up, and you can start punching through some pretty big things, or just start deleting chaff models. A thing I really like to do with the Mindstealer is to get into combat with one thing, kill it with its attack actions, and then reach out and dominate mind something else, and kill that too, killing 2 or possibly even 3 models in a single turn for maximum value. And finally, because this is not a reaction of any kind, it is perfect for punching through those really annoying reactions that are found in Quest or Soulsworn and Dispossessed and the like. Finally, we have their quad, Charm. Pick a visible enemy fighter within a number of inches of this fighter equal to the value of this ability. That fighter cannot activate or make reactions in this battle round. Charm is fantastic. It is so good. If you make or roll a quad, there's a very high chance your Mindstealer has become the most dangerous thing on the board because you guarantee you shut one model down no matter how strong this is. This is fantastic when used on basically anything, but also has the potential to have some really cool space-brained players. That last part, or make reactions, really sells this. There have been situations where my Mindstealer has been close to death and a counter will likely kill it, and I can't afford my Mindstealer to die, but I also need to kill the thing right in front of me right now. Charm means they can't counter and you can kill freely. Charm will also shut down annoying reactions from Quest or Soulsworn, Dispossessed, and the thrice full Discord. Having access to Charm, ignoring everything else the Mindstealer does, makes the Mindstealer an incredibly strong control piece that can win games. Charm is one of those quads that if used at the right time can and will win games. It throws a spanner in the works every single time you get it. It is unbelievably good. Taken blessed or unblessed, the Mindstealer Sphere Ranks is such a good value proposition. This thing is fast, it's durable, it does damage, it has situational control, it's got movement control, it has complete shutdown control, and it has a ranged ability that does great, reliable damage. When I build my Chaos lists, of course, Vexmore and Varangard, they scream off the page to be used because these are the meta picks. These are the most commonly used allies in Chaos. And frankly, Varangard have always been that. Vexmore is fairly new. He basically replaced the Farmwide Crusher. But Varangard in particular are the direct competition to the Mindstealer Sphere Ranks because they operate in the same point zone and they have very similar stats. If you want a pure melee durable beat stick, the Varangard is the way to go. If you want a toolbox who is still a fast moving durable beat stick, The Mindstealer is so darn good. It is such a powerful model that just doesn't see play. It gets overlooked all the time, and it baffles my mind as to why. I see so many chaos lists that run Vexmore Varangard, and I would nearly always drop the Varangard for the Mindstealer because of the utility the Mindstealer brings, because of the control and the power that comes with control, that comes with the Mindstealer. And of course, you can still take Vexmore, so you still have your durable, slow-moving, uber killy beta, which of course then just plays into the control aspect that the Mindstealer thrives in. If you take anything away from this video, it is to try with the Mindstealer. This thing is a powerhouse. It does almost everything, and it does all those things really, really well. Give it a go. Don't overlook it. This thing is underappreciated, it is underused, and it needs to be played more. It is a fantastic unit and one of my favorite allies in all of Warcry. But that's the end of this video. That's the end of this rather passionate rant. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Mindstealer. Do you like it? Have you run it? Are you going to run it in the future now that I've given such a hyperbolic ramble about it? Until next time, lads, ladies, and everybody in between and beyond, ta-ra.
Groovy.
Boy howdy, it's Toast, and it's time for the post-Toast credits. A huge, huge shout out to my algorithmic demon slayers, Andy Morris, Armour Enthusiast 7, CT6497, Head Knight of Paint, Heinz D, Keep Plang, Long Run Hobbies, Lord Filax, Sable Saber, Mrs. Toast, Steve Bean, The Houston Toad, Tough Tootin' Baby, and Velas. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'll see you all next time. It's the baby! Hello, Freya. Hello? Come here, I want to see you. Oh, it's the baby. Oh, come here. Oh, let's get young outtakes. Oh, look, Freya, it's you. Wow. Are you going for your nap? Wiggy. Yeah. Oh, you're so beautiful. We say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we say bye-bye. Can I have a kiss?
Bye-bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Oh, she's adorable.